Welcome back. We're here at Durant High School, wrapping up week 3 of Coach's Corner. We're talking with Durant head coach Tony Newman. Coach, 3 games to talk about. Washington, Mid-Prairie, and Bellevue. Kind of those typical 3-game weeks you're going to see in January almost every week.
Right. And it is a tough week. I mean, those are 3 tough teams. Washington's now ranked. They were number 9 in 4A. Mid-Prairie was ranked preseason, and Bellevue was preseason number 4. So this is a big week for us.
Tuesday night, last Tuesday, Washington came in, took one on the chin, 62-36. Friday went to Wellman, longest road trip of conference season, that is. Closer game, 46-35. And then Saturday, Bellevue came in, 51-40 in a game that was closer than that seems, that final score. Let's start off with Washington. Washington's always on the schedule. They play in the Southeast Conference. They always are looking for games, and you know it's a nice boost in the schedule because they're up a class. They have early wins over Ottumwa, and then conference Fairfield and then Williamsburg. So I mean, you know what you're kind of getting in those guys. They come in and they get after it.
And they did. Their pressure really kind of got to us early on. And it was actually better on film than I thought it would be. We kind of went through. We just did not shoot well at all, and they couldn't miss. They shot 50% for the game. And their coach had talked after the game and emailed me, said that's the best they'd shot all year. Some of it was our poor defense. I mean, they were getting a lot of really close looks, but they hit some big threes too, and we just couldn't keep pace in that first half.
Well, not many teams are going to shoot 50% for a game. I mean, that might be, depending on what the final stat is, that might be the best game they shoot all year. I mean, it's just law of statistics, you know. Lauren Kimball, they led them in scoring with 21 points. She had 9 of 12 field goals. Stephanie Fishback had 8. Joanna Vito had 6 points and 11 rebounds. So they had not as many double-figure scores, but they had some high, close to double-figure scores. Jane Bodkins led Durant with 21. Season career high, I'm guessing.
Yep.
7 of 12 field goals, 5 of 9 threes, kind of steady, keeping that consistency.
She had a big offensive output for us there, especially in the second half, but kind of everyone else really struggled to find their shot.
Might be the surprise player of the conference so far?
I would think so. I hope so.
Newcomer of the year?
Yeah.
Sydney Lilienthal had 10 points.
She struggled to find her shot.
Yeah. 4 of 19. That's not typical.
Right. And she took a lot of shots that they weren't bad shots and they weren't rushed. I mean, she had some towards the end, but when you watch it on film, there's a lot of 6 to 8 runners that she has been hitting, and she couldn't get it to go. I mean, that's why we had 7.5. We just couldn't get very many good looks.
She did pick it up with 7 rebounds, 5 steals, 2 assists. So, and there was some production coming from her, which is. If you're not scoring, if you make that up somehow, that works.
Right.
After that, it kind of falls off. They kind of did a number on the rest of the team. 2 points from Ashley Williams is the next, and then after that, it's kind of not much.
Yeah. Their defense just really forced us to run from 22, 23 feet, and we weren't moving the ball well enough to get those open looks that we've been getting in the games we've been successful in. They close out so fast that our girls just weren't really ready to get that shot off. So, you know, we talked about getting our feet ready for when the pass comes and little things that we need to adjust. But they're a very good 4A school. So
after the first quarter, 14-5. Second quarter, it kind of sunk you, 18-2, and you can live with a 9-point game and kind of hope, but when they're playing that pressure defense and when you're not scoring, that just doubles down on everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we went in a half down 25 points, and we kind of talked about, look, you need to step it up here in a big way, otherwise that new mercy rule is going to really make this game quick. And the girls responded. We played a very solid second half. So
29 second half points, that's good response.
Right.
Move ahead to Mid-Prairie on Friday. Mid-Prairie's pick to win, or at least be up there with the conference leaders. They already have 2 conference losses with Regina and West Branch coming into your game last Friday. 11-point game. Unfortunately, another slow start kind of got you off on a bad note.
We typically, if you look by the last 4 or 5 years, we really struggle first half down there. It's just usually ugly, low-scoring basketball games. That's probably one of the highest-scoring games we've played down there in a long time. And again, it's just our first half. Go back to the tape. We can't get any shots to fall. We make a few dumb decisions with the ball early on, costly turnovers. But again, we had defensive breakdowns just like Washington. They probably rattled off 8 to 12 points on. We just blown assignments. We didn't guard a girl. We didn't see her in transition. And they had layups. So,
to your guys' credit, their point total per quarter decreased.
Right.
First quarter 18, second quarter 15, after halftime, third quarter 9, and last quarter 4. And I'd be hard pressed. 46 points might be their season high to total. They just don't put up that many points.
Right, and they came out the first quarter. They hit all 3 of their threes they took, and they ran girl off 2 screens, and she hit one from 22 feet. I mean, they again would not miss in the first half, and we couldn't hit. So it's never a good recipe for trying to get a win on the road.
Sydney Loyenthal had 14, a little better shooting night, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Paige Compton had 6, Ashlyn Kessler had 4, Bodkins had 5. Kristen Portsman had 6 coming off the bench. So that's not too bad. Mariah Swartzendruber for them at 15 points. Jessie Butters, this 7 points, 13 rebounds. 13 rebounds is huge for one player. Mallory McGarter had 7 points. Also coming off the bench, Taylor Kurtz, 10 points, 7 rebounds. This might be a season low in a game, 22 rebounds.
Yes,
for you guys.
We just did not rebound well at all. We talked about the need for boxing out and finding the girls, and we didn't get a body on girls the whole night.
Now, Mid Prairie plays kind of a in-your-face, kind of pestering sort of style. Does that make it harder to kind of get into anything offensively?
It's definitely harder to get in rhythm. Again, looking at the film wasn't as bad as watching the game. We didn't struggle with the press, kind of like it felt like we were struggling during the game. We didn't turn the ball over against the press more than 1 or 2 times. But just having to work for 84 feet kind of takes us out of the rhythm of our offense. We were just kind of throwing up shots because we've talked about this over the years. We're so happy to break the press that we don't try to throw up the first thing we get because we get that panicked and rushed feel. And we just need to revisit, we haven't struggled against the presses yet, but we struggle after we get across half court with it. So we just need to work on getting settled into the offense and still working around for good shots.
15 assists, that's a really good number too. Jane Bodkins, Paige Compton, Ashlyn Kessler all had 2 assists. And when you can distribute the ball too, maybe that's some of the press break playing in there too. You gotta like to see that.
Yep.
So with that, let's step aside real quick and we'll come back. We have a game against Bellevue to talk about. We'll kind of get a feel for where you're at this point in the season and look ahead to this upcoming week. So we'll be back right after this.